not because I'm a communist, and I think it speaks to many of the things that we probably will have conversations about today. That you know, we have to acknowledge that in some instances what is asserted, either in religion or in traditions and all of that, is contrary to lived experiences. And in some instances, they perpetuate some of the things that we really want to address today. Let me firstly acknowledge the CEO of the Silver Makeka Foundation, the moderator for today's program, Mr. Eusebius Makaiza, the panelists for today, Mr. Mungu Musa Makatini, Professor Chima Donsela, Ms. Kumeza Mafeni, Mr. Tuza Lefuze, and Mr. Komoto Mateke. Thank you very much for having given your time to come and engage with students on this important platform and also topic. And we hope that many more will give their time so that these discussions continue and spread throughout the country and in all our universities. It was a year ago when I was invited by Silver Makeka Foundation to address the launch of the Africa Rising Dialogue at this very same campus. And I'm honored to be back again today. Now, the AfriMen Dialogue last year, together with the nation, we were enraged by the gruesome murder of the youth student, Karabo Mokoena. The grim details of the murder shocked our consciences, and we were once again shaken this year earlier by the murder of Zolile Khumalo, a student at the Mangosuthu University of Technology. The murder accused Kabani Zolo should face the wrath of the law. Justice must prevail. And there are many of these but are not isolated cases. And there are too many cases of violence against women, both reported and the vast majority goes unreported. And it makes me angry that young women in our society are no longer safe. They have to look behind their shoulder at all times for fear of rape, robbery, or death, and sometimes from familiar faces masquerading as their brothers, uncles, or as their fathers. Upon my resuming the role of Deputy Minister of Higher Education, I was given very gory details around what is happening in some of our campuses, which is a research conducted by Higher Education Aids. The research shows us that about 7 million people living with HIV within the 15 to 24-year-old age bracket, many of these are in our universities. Although there has been a decline in new infections, the base number of 290,000 new infections a year is still way too high. We're still seeing about 1.1 million new symptomatic STIs per year. About 32% of students had been pregnant or had made someone pregnant, with 75% of these pregnancies being unplanned. We have about 14% of our university students who engage in transactional sex. The figure will be higher if we were to include students in TUT colleges. Students are also at risk of alcohol and drug abuse, with 68% of TUT college students abusing alcohol on a regular basis. And by the way, this figure is not only a reflection of students, but also on the lecturers and academic staff in our institutions. The research also indicates that 10% of the total reported cases of rape across the country were from university students. This figure will likely increase, as I said, to include TUT college students. And a further 62% of students surveyed felt that female students would be sexually harassed on campuses. And about 28% of males and 27% of females believed that a girl did not have the right to refuse sex to her boyfriend. An alarming 55% of male students think that sexual violence does not include forcing sex with someone that you know. These numbers are actually frightening and even numbing to our conscience if you consider that these are young people, they are actually human beings. So it's not just percentages and statistics and all of that. It's actually people whom we live with on a daily basis. And I'm not saying this in order to shock you into numbers, but as a call to action, because we have to confront this reality and denying that this is our, we have to confront this reality and also take action. The reality is that girls and women are dying at the hands of men, and most men are silent. Our department, through the High Education AIDS program, will soon be adopting as policy the first ever framework for addressing gender-based violence at universities and TUT colleges. Many universities and TUT colleges have already adopted this framework and are implementing it. The framework provides a set of standards and guidelines for universities and colleges in the public sector to take civil action against perpetrators of gender-based violence on campus, whether the perpetrators are students or not, or lecturers, or hold any position. Because if we are to deal with this scourge, action must be seen to be taken, especially at the highest level. Not only will we aim to deter gender-based violence, but also ensure that victims are supported and linked to care and support. We know that the vulnerability and sustainability to HIV is also heightened for victims of violence, and thus post-care and support, including access to post-exposure prophylaxis, amongst other services, is crucial. We've decided to make action against gender-based violence a central issue in our student support work in all our campuses. Young female students face a mirage of harassment and discrimination issues, including, as some of you may know, sex in exchange for marks, which is one thing that's actually prevalent in some of our institutions, accommodation allocation, or even registration, people being demanded, or in particular females, financial transaction by blessers and sugar daddies. Yes, these things are a reality, thereby making them symbols of conspicuous consumption. Women have agency. We must never forget that young women have the capacity to act and to make their own choices. When we mobilize men as we do through this type of platforms, we must ensure that we do not mobilize them to be protectors of women, close quote. That would be the antithesis of what we want to achieve. We mobilize men to be partners with women in acting against gender-based violence. We mobilize men to support the agency of women in this difficult contextual environment. Social media has become a powerful instrument to expose those who beat women and sexually abuse them. Social media has also been used for exposing those who demand sexual favors in exchange for services women should in any way be received. The social media platforms have exposed police who mock victims of sexual abuse and police who refuse to take these cases seriously. Unlike in the past, we're seeing more and more of these cases being reported in the media, and we believe that this is a good thing, and we applaud many who have gone forward, and we want to say to them, we believe, because in many instances, the reason why young women in particular hold back is because they are afraid to be judged, they are afraid not to be believed, and they are afraid not to be taken seriously. And we really need to applaud those who have come forward, opened up cases, and we need to strengthen the element of prosecution, criminal prosecution of those who are accused of such crime. The lack of and slow rate of prosecution obviously hampers our fight against gender-based violence. And I'm happy to see many initiatives led by men whose intention is to highlight and put to an end gender-based violence. They are more and most becoming an organic army that is determined to shout in unison and say no. And this is the type of army that we need. An army of good men who will treat women with the respect and dignity that they deserve. An army of good men who will not be intimidated by the intellectual prowess or power of women. We need an army of good men would understand and respect the meaning of the word no. An army of good men will declare that rape has no place in our society and that no will never and can never progressively mean yes. This army of good men must stand up and be fine examples for the boy child and teach him that girls do not need to lose their power for him to assert his masculinity. This army of good men will not simply dismiss issues as women issues, but instead actively champion these issues because these issues affect our society. This army of good men will find it within themselves to work with women and women's organizations to bring an end to gender-based violence. Not to lead, although men may lead where appropriate, but to ensure that the integral part of this movement. This army of good men will believe in the agency of women and partner with them as they act and make choices. I believe that Afriman Rising is such a place to cultivate this army of good men. Through your dialogues, events, and performances, you are actively recruiting so that this army of good men can grow and flourish. I want to acknowledge the role played by the CEO of the foundation, of the Silo Mariti Foundation, and his central role in addressing these issues. You're already a part of this army, all of us who are in here, and we need this growing army more than ever. This is Afriman Rising, and I hope that many of you will sign up and play an active role. And thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kuti Maname. All right, so now we need to get ready to watch the play. Like I mentioned earlier on, the play is called Komei. And I just wanted to share with you the slogan of Afriman Rising Back to Dignity. So just to unpack it and to break it down, Afriman is the African man rising back to dignity. So we've got young men backstage alongside Silo Matiganube. And in order for us to call them and let them know that we are ready, I'm going to say Afriman. And I'd appreciate it if you could respond and say, rising back to dignity. Is that okay? All right, so Afriman. Rising back to dignity. No, I don't think they heard you. Let's try it again. Afriman. Rising back to dignity. All right, congratulations. Well done. That was nice.
wrestling situation. He came this close from meeting his ancestors. If he wasn't a man enough, he would have been dead by now. But hey, he made it. He survived death. Who ever seen here because he is a man? I'm a father, I'm here.
Man! I'm letting down a fight of big man, man. Well, you know me, gents. You know, I've done the things like a man when when you're in school. That is what I'm like. Multiply and produce. The woman troubles me at you're not supposed to control our lives. Huh? A woman is the firstborn child of a man. I believe in God when He created a man. And then He took my name and created a woman. Now, what is the function of a ring? Wait. To protect my heart. Now, where was my ring? Protect from my heart. Cause pain to my heart. You see that? Back on this. You behave like a mole. You behave as though you never know about me. Melanie, surrounded by all swap. My man was no fun. What do I say now to you? A man! We don't want to live. We don't say here. She makes sure I take the game that let the things that they say. Behave like a man. See that you were still. This is because you I was right. But when it came to discipline, when we split up all. It's not really for right down to the last one. Damn! Am I a man or what? Let me know what I'm doing. You know, it's about Jesus. When I do, it's like to flash down my head. Don't much into that, anyway, that little preaching that one of yours is very one to do. Let me ask you, what kind of a man are you? The one that is a program to people who will do it's not tell you one thing. This paper that they brought from Beijing, they themselves don't understand what it was. Because it is written in Chinese. And they're still looking for someone to translate. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, you are allowed to take that. Mira, Payuma. We don't don't be a material for your that is like how we try to do that. But you know what these? I don't say they got started. You know how we like the framework just about that it was hard. So today, we are going to teach this man. You remember? K-O-M-A. I don't know the all for the A. Together we are called the Initiation School for Boys. I'm not playing, Mashabu.
We take them through the light of passage. So the class and I don't come to so my father. So the class and I don't come to